What's going on? Listen, I have been waiting to get back to you catchers, to my new subscribers. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Click the bell so you can get notified every time a video drops from Casby Kate. Listen, child. The Real Housewives of Atlanta recap from me. I would say the stars of the show that night, okay, would be Drew Sidora and Kelly. Baby, they was reading Portia for filth, okay? Uh my girl, Angela got in her licks, okay? Um we'll probably see more of her part 2, with her yellow folder. We'll get into that. As if any of you guys watched, I'm sure you did, you noticed that Britt Edie was absent. Britt was on this past season, and as Kelly said, and I quote, she caused mass destruction and claims she plays victim and villain at the same time. Her former best friend, Britt, Edie, and Kelly were thick as thieves. Um, I would have to say Kelly was a really great friend to Britt, especially when that whole debacle between Britt, Edie, and Kenya Moore. That situation, I believe I spoke on it in the video. Um, the disappointing uh, foolishness at an event that should have reflected the accomplishment of opening this beautiful salon, Kenya Moore's salon. Beautiful, um, well built. She has a, hair care line, Kenya Moore hair care line that you can find, which I think is excellent. At Sally Beauty Supplies and other places. Um, the reason why I say this sad situation, when Kenya Moore should have been focused more on building, um, you know, generational wealth for her and her child. Instead, she used this grand opening that she cried over, that she was worried, even speaking to Kelly about it on the beginning episodes before she got booted off the rest of the season. Um, and mind you, I am a Kenya Moore fan. I am, but disappointed because we're talking about, one of the first black USAs. I think she's the first, allegedly. I say allegedly. She's been around for, 3.5 decades, and she's very accomplished. She doesn't really need Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she's been with the franchise for, several years. And being on a platform or being a part of the Bravo family, you want to use this platform to continue to grow whatever business, whatever you're selling or, building you, so that people will always um, acknowledge you or like support you, your businesses, or if it's a foundation, whatever it may be. Use your platform, um, and it should not be taken for granted. You see how I'm just kind of deflecting on even getting to it because I don't want to um, point a direction at it, but I have to speak on it. So, getting back to the event. So, yes, it was the grand opening of Kenya Moore, of her beauty salon and spa, right? She took what was supposed to be the most wonderful time of her life to build her brand. She took the time to have posters of Britt Eady in inappropriate positions and pictures of Britt Eady. It was allegedly called, um, oh my gosh, the term just left me. I'm not supposed to say the word anyways on social media, but it was revenge. I'm going to say revenge corn. Okay. Um, use your imagination. Try to place the correct word in your head. I'm not allowed to say the full word, but she took what should have been a joyous occasion for her and her daughter, her little girl, and her family members and friends who came there to support her. She thought it was a great idea to have this lady's information and pictures, and she made it about a person that she cares nothing about. See, let me tell you something. The biggest revenge you can have on somebody that you don't like, or you feel that that person doesn't like you, is success. Anybody that would have hated me on that day, that is the biggest um, get back, revenge, if you, if you gotta have it. Because I mean, to me, it's like, I just didn't quite understand this move because Kenya is so smart, incredibly beautiful, and she has a beautiful mind. She's not just a beautiful face. She has a just she has been through a lot in her life, in her childhood. This was a big, um, like I said, a big event for her. You know, again, my mind would have been on my family that I can pass this down to my child. Um, the salon is gorgeous with beautiful purples and to match the color of her bottles. And like I said, her and I use her product on my girls, and I want to say in a positive light what I love about Kenya Moore Healthcare, hair care, excuse me. Um, there's only a few ingredients, and it's natural stuff, and it was instrumental of helping my hair grow. Okay, along with other products, but I mean, wonderful. Helped my two daughters' hair grow as well. I mean, go get it. That's, I think that's what makes it so hurtful, because her hair care is amazing. You try to support black owned products, and sometimes people don't, um, not all the time, but some products, not even just black, but just products, period. When you want to support a product and it becomes disappointing and makes your hair fall out, but not Kenya Moore Hair Care. Her products has all the essential ingredients to help your hair grow and be healthy. And her thick and long, pretty hair. She had this product in mind. Okay, and it's good for people like myself that experiences hair loss, and my hair's been growing back like crazy. So anyway, so Britt Eady, who has been hot water also. She's not all the way innocent in this. She did threaten to say that, hey, I carry you know a weapon on me at all times. And some people said that she should have been kicked off the season as well, just like they kicked off Kenya, because of those inappropriate posters at her event. Okay. So let's why I brought all this up. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. There's so much to talk about. After that happened, Kelli said, "Oh no, ma'am." Kelli stormed out of that event after Kenya was showing these posters in of Britt doing inappropriate things to everybody at this place. Kelli and some other castmates just was like, "Oh no, I'm leaving." After that, Kelli definitely said, "I'm going to be here for Britt. I'm going to um, be a comfort." Um, she even lent out her beauty team to Britt. And if you watch the rest of the season, that's also the fallout between Kelli and Britt because Kelli said, "Listen, I loaned them out to you, but not for you to keep them." And Britt was like, "Well, what are you jealous because I look better than you?" Oh, it got messy. Got messy. Um, Kelli, who was also going through, who was a great addition to Real Housewives. These are new ladies, by the way. And shout out to Kelli, Britt, Angela, who's one of my favorites. Um, did an outstanding job. Shamia finally got a peach, yes. Um, on the reunion, you could definitely see the strain of between her and Portia. They've been friends since they were teenagers, and you'll see that it kind of play out that they're not mm, as close. But Portia just recently had a birthday, and I think they celebrated together. So I think they're back on again. Who knows? You can't keep up with Shamia and Portia. That's another topic. But anyways, so Kelli and Britt fell out. Kelli felt like, listen, I'm going through my divorce. Well, I'm trying to help uplift you. And, Britt was like, after what Portia did, I'm sorry, after what Kenya Moore did to me at her event, it affected her insurance business, allegedly, she said. Okay. And like I said, Kelli from the get go has been a great friend. So they're no longer friends. They fell out. Yeah. Also, you'll find out at the reunion, Britt filing a lawsuit against Drew Sidora. It's so much going on. It is so much going on. I'm like, what? Britt was filing. I don't know. She's still filing a lawsuit against Bravo. I think it's like a 20 million lawsuit against Bravo because of what happened with the revenge corn. So much. It's crazy. Um, but I will say this: what I did enjoy at the beginning of the reunion, Shamia did a beautiful prayer, and she, I mean, very beautiful, definitely anointed. God needed to be there in that room because it was about to it's about to get off the hook. So, gold star for Shamia. And then, surprise, surprise, Portia sets the intention because every um, reunion, Andy Cohen, he'll ask the question, anybody want to set an intention tonight, for this reunion? What is your intention? And Portia sets the intention being true to herself the way forward. That's what she said. Um, and I will say this, her intention was really nice when she took the accountability of how she treated Drew Sidora this season. She treated Drew like crap. She accused, um, Drew of sleeping with the father of her child. Mad at Drew because the father of her child, Dennis, is a outstanding producer because Drew's album is off the hook. So yes, um, Portia and Drew used to be very close, especially when Drew was also a newbie at one point, and people were attacking her hair and her the way she dressed when she first was on Naturally Beauty. I mean, Drew is another person, successful songstress, and is a phenomenal actress. She doesn't really need, you know, RHOA because she was in the game, the show, The Game, and other shows and movies. Um, White Chicks, the list goes on. So she has her own resume. But again, RHOA is a good place to keep it going, to keep that 15 minutes and hour of fame going, okay? And, Drew Stora, she has what it takes. And she does, like I said, she has more than 15 minutes of fame, okay? She is so talented. And she's also going through a divorce. So some of these ladies are really going through rough divorces. I did see her and her ex husband celebrating 4th of July together, and they looked happy and having a good time. So, hopefully they're doing well for the children too. Um, so getting to Drew Sidora and Portia stood up. She walked over to Drew and hugged her and apologized because Andy was like, "Were you being petty this season? Were you really being petty by having dinner with Drew Sidora's husband, ex-husband?" She says, "Yes, I was." So she admitted to that. Now Kelli here, Kelli was reading. Okay. um, Kelli said to Portia, "Don't compare your divorce to mine." She said, "Mine was 11 years, not 11 months." Okay. Because the background to Portia's ex husband, Simon, who people thought that, you know, Portia was the one that called the ICE agents on him. But she made it clear, she says, that would have not benefited me. There's no way I would have called the ICE agents on, Simon, even though we're not together. But the background to her only knowing this man for a quick moment. She allegedly took this man from a co-worker of her on Bravo. Um, Phelan. Am I saying her name right? Beautiful Phelan. Fallon. Sorry. Um, and Fallon's husband was Simon, and they were co-workers, and she invited Portia over for a swimming, it was a swim party or whatever, to get to know everyone. And what's so weird is that um, Portia, at the time being with her, ex, you know, Dennis, the father of her child, Pilar, um, Simon and Dennis were business partners, or going to be, and they had dinner together as couples. So it's just so weird. So she was messing around with Simon while he was still with Fallon. So it's just so messy. I don't want to tap into that. That's a whole nother animal. Okay. But anyway, but she was only married to Simon for a hot minute because she found effed around and found out that girl, you thought you was winning, having all these different weddings and celebrations, and he didn't have the money that you thought he had, and you know a lie. It's a whole lie. So anyways, she's going through that. um Cynthia came back this season as a friend, though. I want her peach back. I still don't understand why they let her go like that. um Cynthia is a whole vibe. She brings class to the franchise. When they let her go was during the time where her and Mike, her ex husband, were breaking up. We would have liked to know what happened. And they talking about she didn't have enough of a storyline. That's a lie. She has always brought storyline. It's just that's so weird. I really wish they would give her peach back. But Cynthia is having a great time. She has a 39-year-old boyfriend now. His name is Lay Prince. He's a DJ. He sings. He raps. So good looking brother too. Okay. Miss Phaedra returned this season. Um, a little bit towards the end. She wasn't really on there the full season. Was she needed? Not really. But I guess it was nice to see her. And she is also dating a young man named Che. He's 32. Um, and yeah. Um, Shamia denied introducing Simon to Portia. Now in the season, she claimed that um, she did apparently introduce Simon to Portia, and now she is backpedaling. And then you can also see on the reunion that Portia, when they asked Portia, did Shamia introduce you to Simon? And then there was a lot of backpedaling. But I'm thinking, how could Shamia introduce Simon met Portia through Fallon? They were, yeah. I was like, I don't know. It was just weird. Maybe to like get a better like, okay, yeah, this is the one for you or whatever. I don't know, but I was like, I wanted to say Portia didn't really need Shamia's help with that. She was already eyeballing him at the swim party. I allegedly, I don't know. Anyways, um, so Portia and Kelly feuding. You'll see that. Oh, and I gotta say this before, and I think I talked about this a little bit ahead of it, but before Portia and Drew hugged it out, um, Drew was asked about the comment she made on a podcast when she said Portia fell flat in this season because they brought Portia back and she was supposed to be the superstar, of this season, and that wasn't the case. The superstars really was Shamia, who was her alleged lapdog, and it was really Shamia at the beginning, like when they showed her house and her luxury. I mean, Shamia was the star to me at the beginning, I have to say. Um, and so when Andy said, "Did you really say that?" She says, "Yes, I did." Um, she said, um, "Oh, and this is the read she did." Oh, wait. Drew said, "Simon says you have no storyline." The game Simon says. You have to see it. If you know what I mean, when the person says Simon says, that's a game when you were a little kid, but because she was linked to Simon, get it. You have to see it though. It may not come out as funny the way I say it, but it was hilarious. Okay. Now I can tell you after that, Portia apologized to Drew and said sorry. Okay. Um, so yeah, so you guys gotta watch it. The first part one is hilarious. Um, let's see, Angela's yellow folder I told you about. Um, let's see, Britt, Shamia. I didn't know this either. That there was an alliance, um, or an allegiance or something like that. Portia, Shamia, Kelly, and Britt. They were supposed to be the alliance against Portia. They spoke about that. Portia said she was not a part of the alliance. Okay, it's a lot of backpedaling. Um, Good news, Kelly's divorce is officially over. She paid a total of $200,000, okay, to get divorced. That's crazy. Oh, but this is what Portia said, honey. Portia said that Kelly's husband is not after her and she doesn't need that bodyguard. That's pretty much all cap that Kelly is putting on, and that man don't be beating her like that, or he don't be coming after her like that, allegedly.